Hey guys, it's me, Sam Stein, managing editor at the Bulwark, and I'm joined by Tim Miller. We are here to talk about Kristi Noem, who had a hearing before the members of Congress for the DHS budget appropriations request, and it went sideways pretty badly on multiple occasions, and provided some interesting insights into how members of the cabinet feel they must tap dance around dear leader Donald Trump. Before we get into that, subscribe to the feed. All right, Tim, this is your favorite cabinet secretary. This is
she my favorite? I don't know. She's kind of my favorite to discuss. I was interested when you first sent me the links and said she was appearing in front of Congress. It took me a second because I was trying to decide if that was actually her or there was like the Hall of Presidents figure of her. Because sometimes it is hard to tell with the lack of facial movements whether it's really her.
Why do I do this to
what
myself?
Was the thing
every time?
Do you remember? You ever been to the Hall of Presidents at Disney World? They still got that?
I have been there. I've also been to whatever Madame Tussauds wax.
Madame Tussauds.
Joke. Yeah, I get it. Do you have anything else to add?
Well, I thought it was a pretty bad performance. Why don't we go to the clips and we'll take them one.
Which one do you want to start with? Swalwell or Goodman?
Swalwell, please.
Okay, let's do Swalwell. Set up here, Eric Swalwell brandishing a photo of Abrego Garcia that Donald Trump insisted showed a tattooed hand and was clearly photoshopped, and then this transpired.
Could you look at the photo, please? It's right in front of you.
Are you saying Abrego Garcia is not a wife beater?
No, ma'am.
That he's not a criminal.
Ma'am,
he's not a human trafficker. And he's not a member of MS.
You vouched for Mr. Garcia when your team said, ma'am, you vouched for him when you said he was mistakenly deported. Sir, I didn't vouch for him.
I did not say
in that
he
photo.
Should have been deported. Absolutely.
It's so telling that you won't look at the photo.
And we will not be bringing.
Was it doctored or not?
In staying here,
can you look to your right at the photo in front of you? Madam Secretary, can you look to the right at the photo in front of you?
I have seen this photo as you held it behind your head.
Thank you. And the letters MS and the numbers 13, are those doctored or not?
Testimony today is on a doctored photo. You don't want to talk about the facts.
Okay.
The importance of our national security.
You acknowledge it was doctored.
To make sure that the United States is protected.
Madam Secretary, this is not a hard question. Are those doctored or not? Sir, is that actually on his hand or not?
This is unbelievable to me that you're focused.
It's unbelievable to me that you can't look at the photo and tell the American people.
I looked at the photo, but I don't have any knowledge as to this photo.
Okay, so it's been hanging out there for 4 weeks. You are one of the chief law enforcement officials in the country. What have you done to investigate whether the president misrepresented the reason that person has been detained?
Sir,
have you done anything to try and figure out whether that was doctored or not?
The mission of the Department of Homeland Security is to secure our nation and to make sure that we're out there going after those that are the worst of the worst, the criminals, the bad actors. Abrego Garcia.
So the answer is you've done nothing to correct the president.
Member of MS-13, a wife beater and a human trafficker that should never have been in this country to begin with.
So, that one was crazy to me, much more than the other one, because it's like she refused to look at it, and she's like. It's like
please, ma'am, please turn to your right. Maybe she can't turn to her right. I don't know. That might be kind of part of the side effects of the reconstruction surgery. Here's the thing with this. This is what it is. They are afraid to say that Donald Trump was wrong about anything.
Yes.
And this is why, it's like, oh, you have TDS. Oh, you're in a liberal bubble. Oh, you crazy libs. When you call us cultists, it's just whatever. It's like, no, this is a cult. It's the number one trait of a cult. The cult leader cannot be wrong. And like you are in a cult, like there was never any time where, when I worked for a candidate where I couldn't say, oops, we missed on that one and like moved on, like she can't just simply say, and she doesn't even have to say Donald Trump was wrong when he said it was MS-13. Like you could even do a plausible defense of this where he's like, well, Trump was just pointing out that that the tattoos stand for MS-13. Yeah. Like you could do that thing, which would have been a lie, but at least it would have been a face-saving lie,
what
so to
Trump
speak.
Actually said? Trump actually said there is MS-13
right there on the knuckles. Have you not seen?
Right
and then he got mad at the ABC reporter, Terry Moran. He got mad at Terry, and he's like, Terry, it's like, this is why people think you're the fake news. You won't just acknowledge that it said MS-13. And it's like, no, that's a Times New Roman Like, and my one critique of Swallow, who is awesome here, is he kept saying it's doctored. Wasn't really doctored.
It's not doctored.
They just took his hand and they typed MS-13 on the finger. So I guess that's technically
I did appreciate that he identified the font.
Yeah, I did. I like that he identified the font.
Times New Roman,
but it's like, the whole thing.
Everyone knows that MS-13 likes Arial fonts. Come on.
Whoever was making the picture wasn't trying to doctor it. Trump is just so stupid that he didn't understand like what they were trying to do, which was delineate what allegedly each of those tattoos represented. And so like she could have just done any of that, but she refuses. She refuses to just be like, Mr. No. Like or she couldn't have even not mentioned Trump at all. She could have looked at that and said, no, I look at that and that obviously MS-13 someone typed on there, but conceivably the tattoos could represent that. I'm not an MS-13 tattoo expert. That would have been a fine answer. And she just but any inch you give, centimeter, that might be interpreted as having a headline saying Kristi Noem says Trump was wrong about the MS-13 tattoos. Like that is a risk that is not worth taking because you don't want to be cast.
That says, that almost to me that says more about Trump, honestly, that he can't handle even that and would never want to admit he's wrong. But we were sort of debating in the office whether this was the right and effective use of Swalwell's time, and I think so because I don't think you're going to get anything out of her. Because she's not interested in having an actual engaged conversation about issues like due process and deportations and actually what the budget should be used for. I mean, she's not what she's there for. So you do need to make – if it's going to be a spectacle, you have to make a spectacle.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch the entire hearing, so I was going to say that's it's possible other members did this. I think that is one useful thing is like just pointing out that like the arguments that they're making about this are untrue, just getting that on the record. You couldn't do that. And I think embarrassing her like that is as maybe at least useful just as far as I took pleasure from it. But like to me, I think that one thing that would be useful, and there are just always so many things to ask these guys, but like to continue to put the drumbeat of, can you provide me the detailed evidence for why Neri Alvarado was deported? And like she's going to say, no, we reviewed all these people and they're all MS-13. And you're like, please submit to the committee the evidence that you guys provided, and whatever it can be, we can do it in a classified way. Right? There are classified versions of these committees. Like, but submit to me the evidence. The makeup artist Andre Hernandez, submit to me the evidence that was used to determine that he was a Tren de Aragua gang member. Like to me, like that, and again, I don't know exactly what the whole hearing, so some of that might have happened, but like that would I think be the most useful.
Yeah. So there was one moment, and I'm gonna not have the right names here, but Representative Magaziner, who said to Noem, look, you deported this mother and her 4-year-old and 7-year-old who were U.S. citizens. 4-year-old had stage 4 cancer, and you testified, or the DHS asserted that the mother signed off on having her kids deported with her. He's like, but I've talked to the lawyer directly, and the lawyer says it's patently not true. Can you send me the evidence that you had to justify the decision to deport this kid, to say that the mother had signed off on it? And she said, we will provide it to you. So yeah, now does she follow through? I don't know, but I thought that was, to your point, like, yeah, I mean, the idea here is you need to sort of surface whatever information you can about what is the rationalization for their deportation regime. And if you can't do it, then you do need to expose just how insane some of the decision-making process is.
Well, and here's why they're going to fight this, okay? And here's why it's important to engage in this fight, right? And this is outside of the electoral politics framework. This is about the immigration policy framework, because it's important to have this fight, because if you can continue to pressure them on these specific examples, and you get one, right? This is why they don't want to give on Abrego Garcia, and this is why they don't want to give on anybody else, right? Like if information can be surfaced, official information, there are still career employees at a lot of these places, and you have a career employee at the DHS that like does what they're supposed to do, submits the documents to the congressional committee. Then the congressional committee goes and says, here was their evidence that Andre was a gang member. It's these tattoos, but these tattoos are not like, and then if the dam breaks, right? Like in theory, like maybe the dam will never break. The dam breaks in theory. And I just go back to, you hate to ever give the Republicans credit for anything, But especially on like some of their absurd stuff they did around Benghazi. But like this is how Benghazi worked, right? Like the Democrats kept making fun of the Republicans. Oh, you're so obsessed with Benghazi. Nobody cares about Benghazi. But all those hearings that Trey Gowdy had, like eventually by law, lawyers and whatever department officials made the government turn stuff over. You learned more stuff. And like by a like long kind of butterfly flapping its wings way, that investigation ended up being the thing that got the Anthony Weiner laptop. Wow. that led to
many butterflies.
Yeah.
Hillary's emails discovered.
Yeah, that led to the James Comey press conference, right? So like you just don't know, you know what I mean? So like it's important to do that stuff to continue to rather, and so I think
no doubt you're limited when you're in the minority, but it's important to have the record show that you're pushing for it. The only other notable moment came when Dan Goldman was talking, impressing Kristi Noem, and this was about the legality of what's happening with Abrego Garcia, and it really sort of crystallized how this fight is being waged.
Abrego Garcia is in his home country.
What steps have you taken?
If your continued advocacy for him were to...
I'm not advocating for him. I'm advocating for a court order, Madam Secretary. The court order says that you must take steps to follow the court order. You are here under oath. What steps have you taken to return Mr. Abrego Garcia pursuant to this court order?
It's got to be extremely discouraging to be one of your constituents. To see you fight for a terrorist like this and not fight for them is extremely alarming to me.
I'm fighting for due process, and that's under the Constitution.
Gentleman's
and you
time
should
has
fight
expired.
due process.
So, I mean, to me, this is it. It's like this is the essence of the argument, and it's who can be more convincing in this argument. And I'm partial to the rule of law and the Constitution respecting the court, obviously, but who am I? I'm just one
way to put off take off your journalist hat, your unbiased journalist hat there, and
I happen to, I know. I'm so slanted.
Show a little leg.
This is new ground for me. No, but to me, would Noem's argument be persuasive for a lot of people? Probably.
Yeah, Noem's argument I think probably would be persuasive for a lot of people, and I think in part of it even if he comes back, he gets deported again. But to me,
well, that's bullshit. It's not true because by the other Supreme Court decision, he has to have some habeas corpus hearing. Yeah, but whatever.
And also, like the stop, I forget the technical term, but there was like a stop deportation order on him, basically, because it was like he can't be sent to El Salvador.
Right. And so I think she was saying, well, we'll send him to,
Libya. Yeah, we'll send him to Libya. Great. I think that as far as a political framework is concerned, the Democrats are best suited to stay on the ground of you don't want the government having this kind of power, pulling people off the streets, sending them to foreign prisons. It's a Joe Rogan argument. Like that's the best argument that Democrats have politically. But like in a congressional hearing such as this, the Democrats don't always need to be making like the optimized TV ad argument, right? And there's a policy argument that could be made that is where Dan Goldman is going to, again, for the purpose of trying to like get more cracks in the facade here in order to try to yield some results.
Yeah. Did you see Mayor Pete's handling of this question last night?
Due process is afforded to everybody because it is through that due process that our society can make decisions, including challenging decisions about what happens to you if you are in fact held to be in violation of the law. As ironically happened to the president himself when he went through probable cause, due process, judge, jury, all that. He got due process.
Good. It was a classic Mayor Pete
line. That was a classic Mayor Pete line, but in a rare case, Mayor Pete has me maybe convinced of taking the other side of that, which is like maybe we shouldn't have given Donald Trump due process. Because the idea of Donald Trump in El Salvador sounds pretty good. But that's bad.
Another one of Biden's missed opportunities, I suppose. All right, Tim, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Tune into our feed for stuff like this. We will talk to you soon.